Hey Coffee Clan, welcome back to my channel. So I'm really hoping that the audio is good on this video because again, we're filming in my kitchen and there's not very good audio in my kitchen, and of course my fridge makes noises, so I just really hope that the audio is good. If it's not, I'm really sorry. So let's get into this video. I actually have some coffee that I'll be drinking as we make a matcha latte because this video is going to be a recipe on how to make a matcha latte. So if you guys don't know what matcha is, it's basically like a condensed version of green tea, and it basically 1 cup of matcha latte is equivalent to like a few cups of like green tea, which is really good for your body. So let's get into it. I'm going to show you guys how to make a matcha latte. What you're going to need to make a matcha latte is 1 cup of milk of your choice. I'm using Silk unsweetened vanilla almond milk. You're going to need 1/4 cup of hot water, not boiling. Make sure that you boil it and then let it cool. You're going to need matcha, and I'm using Matcha Me. It's from Teamy. You're going to need a matcha whisk, and if you don't have one, you can probably get away with a regular whisk. I like to use a bowl, but you can use any bowl, and then you're also going to need some fresh honey. So the first step that you guys are going to want to do is grab a little pan, and you're going to take a cup of milk of your choice and dump it in, and you're going to want to bring this to a simmer on the stove. While the milk is simmering, you want to make sure that you boil your water, and then like I said before, when your water is done boiling, you want to make sure that you set it aside to cool for a few minutes so that when you mix it with your matcha, it's not boiling, because we don't want to ruin our matcha latte. They're really finicky and you can ruin it really easily. Also, side note, if you guys have ever washed your clothes with your husband's clothes, yeah, I got pen all over this, so if you guys see pen on it, you know why. Now, one step that I'm going to make very clear and is not in the normal matcha directions is you want to make sure that when you pour your matcha into the bowl, you want to sift it in, because if you don't sift it in, it's going to be clumpy and your latte is going to be clumpy, and that is not going to taste good at all. Now, I don't actually have a sifter, so what I'm going to do is use this colander, because as you can see, matcha powder is really clumpy. So after we get the matcha powder on there, we're going to sift it in. Have it sift in, it should look like this, and like I said, it's really messy, but it wouldn't be Mel's messy kitchen if it wasn't messy. So we now have our matcha powder sifted and ready for the next step. So once you have your matcha powder sifted, I like to do it in a separate bowl, but you can pour it into a mug for this next step. However, I like to do it in this bowl just because that's what I'm used to. Once you have your matcha powder sifted, you're going to want to take your 1/4 cup of hot water or lukewarm water, and you're going to want to dump it in the bowl. And after it's dumped in the bowl, you're going to want to take your matcha whisk and whisk it in a S motion, zigzag back and forth. Take your whisk, put it in the bowl, and zigzag back and forth like this, and once you start to see little bubbles form, it is good to go for the next step. Now, after you whisk the matcha, your next step is to take your simmered milk and froth it. So there's a few different ways you guys can do this. I'll go over a few ways with you. The first way you can do it is kind of just to take like a whisk and whisk it really well until it becomes frothed. Another way you can do it, you can get a little milk frother off Amazon, kind of like this one right here, and basically you just put it in, turn it on, and it froths the milk for you. And then the final way that you can do it, this is a little bit of a weird way, but I do use this method a lot. You can actually dump the milk into a mini French press just like this one, and basically just pump it like this over and over again until you have frothed milk. This is the easiest way to froth milk for lattes at home, but I think for this matcha latte, we're gonna go with the easy way with the little spinner, and we're gonna froth the milk that way. I actually poured it into a mug before I decided to froth it because doing it in the stove was just a little messy, so let's go ahead and froth it now. Alright guys, so at this point we have our frothed milk and we have our water mixed with our matcha powder, which is very much dissolved. The next step is going to be to mix the two together, and then you can actually add a little bit of honey or sugar for sweetener, or you can add agave. Pretty much whatever sweetener you would use, you can add that to the combination to make it just a little bit sweeter. So let's go ahead and mix the two together. I'm going to add a little bit of honey to mine just because I do like a little bit of a sweeter matcha latte. So I'm just going to add half a teaspoon of honey to our matcha latte. A little bit of a heaping half teaspoon. And then I'm going to use the same spoon to stir it again because there's extra honey left over and it's still pretty hot. So as you guys can see, we have that green matcha latte look to it, and we didn't make a lot. You don't really need a lot. The taste is pretty overpowering. I personally really like the taste of it, but let's try it out. Alright guys, so as you saw, we have our matcha latte ready to be taste tested right now. So let's go ahead and try it out. It's so good. If you guys don't like an overpowering taste of, the easiest way to compare it is long clippings. If you don't like the taste of long clippings, you might not like a matcha latte, but I personally really like them, and this is a really easy recipe that you can do at home. All you need is a matcha powder, and you can use bowls, you can use whisks that you already have. You don't have to go out and buy specialty things meant for matcha. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed making matcha lattes with me. And if you guys want to see how to make other recipes, please comment down below. I think we definitely accomplished Mel's messy kitchen because it's a mess over here that I now have to clean up. But let's be real, I'm probably not going to clean it up for a while because I'm a messy person. So I'm going to drink my matcha latte, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Until then, drink coffee or matcha, travel often. I love you, bye.